With Connor Sutton, you just heard my NFL mock draft. If GMs aren't stupid, but they are, so they'll do something different. Sam Clemente, Carlton McAllister are now joining me here. They heard my mock draft. They probably didn't like it. That's fine. I'm going to let Sam go first. You were on the show last week, Sam, to talk about Lions Club All-Star Game. Welcome back. Here's my thing, though, Sam, is you're going to criticize me. That's fine.
That's why I'm here.
I mean, that's not why you're here, but give me a pick that you like, that you agree with, that I said.
Okay, there's a couple. I mean, I definitely think it takes a lot for you because you're a basketball guy deep down. Guy. So you're kind of going out of your realm here to make a prediction on football that you're not as thorough with, like as me. I mean, I do mock drafts since I was a kid. So I like Tremaine Edmonds. I told you this during the break, to the Bears, because the Bears have a need for a linebacker and a pass rusher alongside Leonard Floyd. So that's a good pick at the back end of the top 10. Obviously, you can't deny that the Browns need a quarterback and that Darnell is probably the most NFL ready. So that's something you said, and that's true. And you said Saquon Barkley to the Giants at 2. And I do think the Giants are going to take Saquon Barkley number 2 because they're trying to roll out these next couple years, probably 2 years, with Eli Manning in hopes that he can win another Super Bowl for them with Saquon Barkley handing the ball off to him.
Which is such a mistake. I mean,
I think it's
good enough. Even if they get Eli, if they keep Eli for 2 years, they're not going to get a good enough roster. In the next 2 years, they're number 2 pick, let's be honest. So they're obviously not that good as a roster.
Well, the thing that people forget is that, for one, their last year the coaching staff just fell apart at the seams. And also, they had so many injuries. Odell Beckham was hurt. Everybody on that defense was hurt. They actually have a pretty talented roster. It was dysfunction that took over, injuries that took over. So if you take Saquon Barkley, which immediately boosts your offense with Odell Beckham coming back as well, they have a very good young tight end. Eli Manning's proven he can win Super Bowls.
Yes.
And their defense is what becomes the tricky thing because you do need to re-up that defense.
All right. Give me your mock draft real quick.
Okay.
Top 10.
Top 10. I'll do. I mean, I did all 32. I don't mess around with my mock drafts.
Wow.
But number 1, I'm gonna do.
I think you need to spend more time elsewhere.
Yeah, I know. I need more things going on. So Browns, I'm going with Josh Allen instead of Sam Darnold. That's not to say I don't think Sam Darnold is the best quarterback. It's that I'm trying to think in the mind of John Dorsey, their GM, who just last year, with the Chiefs, traded up about 10 slots to take Pat Mahomes, a big-arm quarterback from a school that's really not great in football at Texas Tech. And he loved that guy. And he liked the idea that he could take Pat Mahomes and sit him behind Alex Smith for a year, which is exactly what he did. And now Pat Mahomes is the starting quarterback. Josh Allen, you take him number 1 overall because he's a big boomer bust, athletic, great arm. You sit him this year, maybe next year, behind Tyrod Taylor because you don't have any rush. If they didn't have Tyrod Taylor, you take Sam Darnold. You don't need to play Josh Allen. You need to sit him behind Tyrod Taylor and another quarterback.
I agree with you. I said when the Bills take him at the 9th slot, again, he's not a starter right now. You need to give him 2 years.
Right. And that's the plan. That's why you can be comfortable with, we can take him because he doesn't need to play. So then I'm going to, like I said, I think Saquon Barkley goes 2. I think the Jets, this is the biggest toss-up. It's going to be a quarterback. They traded up to take a quarterback.
Yep.
Who their quarterback is up for grabs. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield, honestly, because New York wants some flair. They want some excitement, and they don't need him to start right away either because they have Teddy Bridgewater and they re-signed Josh McCown. I like Baker Mayfield because he's deadly accurate, because he's a competitor, and because he's a guy that players around him rally behind him. Players at Oklahoma said, we rallied around Baker Mayfield because he was that intense. So they trade up, they take a guy that long-term can bring a lot of excitement to New York, which is really what it's all about. Browns, again, at 4, Bradley Chubb, bookend, defensive end, pass rusher, best defensive player in this draft, as you said, alongside Myles Garrett. That gives them a ferocious defense. Broncos at number 5. I think my brothers are Broncos fans. They said the only way the Broncos take a quarterback at 5 is if Sam Darnold is available. Otherwise, they take a defense or they trade down. Sam Darnold is going to be available at 5 in my mock draft, so you take him, and you are overly excited about that if you're John Elway. Going quicker now. Bills, excuse me. This is where my trade is, where the Bills trade back in. I think the Colts traded down once. They're going to trade out again because they feel comfortable. We have a quarterback. We don't need to be here. They'll trade back. They'll get more picks. Bills take Josh Rosen at UCLA. Me and Carlton were saying Josh Rosen has the potential to be the best quarterback in this draft. There's just questions as to how committed he is to football because he's also a business major and a guy that could get into finance and probably be pretty good. He's from UCLA, so we know he's pretty smart. So the commitment isn't fully there. You want to say something or you want me to just finish it up? All right.
Keep going.
All right, so Bucks 7, they take Derwin James, who I actually think might be better than Minkah Fitzpatrick because he has more of a role. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a Swiss Army knife. He plays every defensive back position. Derwin James is a safety, and he's a dang good safety, and his comparison is to Eric Berry, who's a phenomenal safety, and they need a safety. So they take safety. Bears, I like Tremaine Edmonds, like I said. I think at this spot with Quentin Nelson available, who could be Zach Martin 2.0. You take him because you want to protect your franchise quarterback and Mitch Trubisky, who they think is their franchise quarterback at least. And then Niners-Raiders. Niners take Mika Fitzpatrick because they need DB help badly. Now that they have Richard Sherman in the mix, they can really start going upwards. And then my Raiders, I think they'll be really tempted to take Denzel Ward here. They took a Ohio State cornerback last year in Garyon Connolly. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to play. But I think they take Roquan Smith, who I hear is, atop their draft board because of his athleticism, sideline-to-sideline linebacker, which is needed in the modern NFL. And they have a huge need at middle linebacker. So Roquan Smith goes to them from Georgia, and there you go, top 10.
Okay, not bad. Carlton, anything that you heard from Sam? First off, who do you agree with more right now? I'm just curious.
Oh, 100% Sam.
I was hoping you would say that.
Why is that?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that I understand yours is not the ideal, kind of the draft that the ideal draft for owners, but I don't think kind of you take into account the players on the field, how they've played this year, what they're going to look like, how they fit into schemes, things like that as well. So that's kind of what I was more thinking of is just kind of the schemes as well. I agree a lot more with Sam. Actually, a lot of his picks I have. I think the only pick I don't have in the top 10 is Baker Mayfield. It's the only one I don't have.
Why is that? You have the same reason that I think he's going to drop.
Yes, I think he's going to drop. I think any team will be lucky to have him, but I think it's just an attitude problem. I think he's just going to be just like Johnny Manziel, just an attitude problem.
Which is an unfair comparison because Johnny Manziel is literally bipolar. Baker Mayfield's just a dude that loves football and gets carried away.
Johnny Manziel didn't have a police video either.
Yeah, that's true.
Anytime you have a police video, it's never good.
And he's 23, Baker Mayfield. The young guys make dumb mistakes, and he was a kid that's made some dumb mistakes. But yes, now it's got time to grow up.
Definitely.
Continue, Carl.
I think any team would be really lucky to have him. Also, though, he's 5'8". He's playing again.
He's not 5'8".
He's pretty short.
He's 6'1", which is small.
Okay, that's very questionable.
5'8", he would be dead by now. If
because Russell Wilson's pretty short too. Though.
Russell Wilson's 6 foot. Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's
5'8".
He's not as athletic as Russell Wilson though. So there's no way we can't make that comparison because he's not nearly.
Oh, not at all.
And his wife is not nearly as attractive as Russell Wilson's wife.
Well, nobody is as athletic as Russell Wilson at quarterback for his height. He does things that nobody else has done. You can say Michael Vick, Carlton, because I know you're a big Michael Vick guy back in the Falcons.
Wow.
But here's the thing with him is that Russell Wilson is so valuable because of his athleticism. He's smaller, so he can make little moves to get out of the way. Where
yes.
Vick could not. My problem with Baker Mayfield is he's not athletic enough to make plays on the run.
Yes.
And his accuracy on the run scares me.
I think it was one of the better though.
Right, but I'm saying
his accuracy was the highest by far of any quarterback.
Right, but here's the thing: is when he gets to the NFL, it's going to be way different.
They're smaller windows to fit in. I agree. Yeah.
I almost think from the quarterback position, it's almost better to have a small school quarterback because everything jumps so much. As long as you have a pro style offense, that's one of the things that I think has changed a lot more in college the last 2 or 3 years. Is that we see more quarterbacks coming out who have played with the pro style offense. So when they jump in, they can jump in easier. Real quick though, I want to see. We got a couple minutes here before the end of this segment. Who is your guys' rookie of the year?
You go.
I stumped you on that. Here's who I think it is. I think Saquon Barkley will win it. And here's why. Running backs...
I thought you just asked us a question. Now you're answering the own question.
Both of you guys gave me a blank stare.
All right, fair enough. Continue.
I figured I would jump in and give you my opinion.
I mean, that's fair to say, Saquon. But that's offensive rookie of the year. You have offensive and defensive.
Right. I'm talking about offense. I think Chubb will win defensive rookie of the year. I think he's the best player in the draft by far. He's kind of a Jadeveon Clowney, kind of, but except for because that draft didn't really have any quarterbacks in it that were as highly scouted as these. So, Saquon, it's easy for running backs to kind of transition into the NFL compared to other positions, compared to the quarterback position. So, there's a couple things that will come into effect. I think if you go to a team that has a good O-line, if we go to the Giants, they don't have a great pass blocking O-line, but they do have a good run blocking O-line.
They're big.
So, I think Barkley will be rookie of the year.
Because Saquon's just a safe pick if we're going to pick a rookie of the year right now, obviously. Because he's the best offensive talent. Mm-hmm. I'll go a little bit more creative, I guess. I don't want to take a quarterback because it's hard to say which quarterback's actually going to play. It's likely that none of these quarterbacks will start the season as the starting quarterback for their team. They're all going to be sitting behind somebody. I'm going to go, we're talking about tight ends, and that tight ends aren't very valued in today's NFL, which is sad because I love a good receiving tight end. I'm going to say Hayden Hurst, who I think is going to go to the Ravens, who desperately need to get Joe Flacco some help. And I see if that happens, if the Ravens take Hayden Hurst, he's going to immediately become Joe Flacco's best friend. And he's going to throw to him consistently over and over and over and over and over. And Hayden Hurst is going to rack up 700 yards and probably 6 touchdowns or so and win Offensive Rookie of the Year over Saquon Barkley because he's consistent enough and he gets a lot more reps. This is out of left field.
No, that's really bold. I like
but
that.
Hayden Hurst is being compared to a Dallas Clark, who was one of growing up my favorite players to watch. No gloves, wearing the tape around his fingers, old school. So I think Hayden Hurst is going to be a really good tight end, probably the best, at least this year, from this draft. So I'll go with that, be creative.
I actually am going to go with a later round pick. I'm actually going to go with Kerryon Johnson from Auburn. I think that kid is a workhorse. He was easily taking 25 plus carries at Auburn. I think he actually would be
a deep running back, huh?
A deep running back.
I said earlier,
which is popular now.
Yeah.
This is a deep running back class.
Very, very. I mean, you got two that are actually being considered from Georgia. Who is Michaels, who's the backup for Chubb at Georgia. Yeah, so 2 running backs from the same school.
Both of them are very good.
Very good.
A lot of good stuff, guys.